Hello, this is Prior, and I'm gonna teach you how to get good at ranked. Yeah? You got it? Good, right. So, we're gonna start with, there's a lot of things we've got to think about in ranked. So there's weapons, maps, specials, builds, playstyle, strategy, the positioning, staying alive, mentality, and aim. There's also one other thing, but it sort of leads to aim, but it's just matchups. But you'll learn to do it. So, weapons. Any weapon can be picked in zones, but weapons should mostly be picked by how well it paints, how well it caps or retake zone with special, and how well it can kill and keep control of the map. If you have a weapon with all these things underlined, it will give you a higher chance of winning and more options on what you want to do. And it just like, there's just so many other things you can do instead of just having a weapon that's like that doesn't really paint but can just focus on killing. You want to have something that can do everything. Although some weapons that paint, they may not be able to kill as well, but you still have the option to kill pretty well. It's just trying to do everything in zones. Alright, so maps. How good is the map for the weapon? How easy is it for you to get control? What is the map like? Long range or short? One zone or two zones? Play in maps that are suited for your weapon, such as like Ballpoint on Albacore, or like Dynamo and Humpback, which is sort of like a short range map. And yeah, Ballpoint, yeah, on Albacore is a long range map. Avoid maps that are hard to paint over, such as playing on two zone maps. Try and avoid them. It's just too chaotic for you to try and control both zones at once. Kelp Dome, because it's so bad, it's so hard to paint over, and Ink Blot, same thing. It's not a bad map Ink Blot, but it's still sort of hard to control for yourself. To make it easy for you to just control it for yourself, really, just focus on maps that have one zone and doesn't have a stupid block in the middle of it that's like stopping your entire time painting over it. Alright. Specials. Right. When we use specials, we've got to think about how we want to get the zone. So there's 3 specials that can insta-cap, and they're going to be the most important ones. Although 2 of them are really hard to use, Splashdown and Baller, because they just get cancelled so easily. Bubbles is the easiest one to use. So try and get a weapon that has bubbles, because that's the one where it's going to guarantee you to get the zone back and at least help you just get your team to come back, keep coming back still, instead of like losing because you couldn't get the zone. Like no one could paint the zone and like you can just cap it yourself. And then we got these other specials as well that can also paint over it. Like we got most of the bomb rushes, and we got Booyah and Ink Storm, but they will need some help to be painted over with. Some bomb rushes can, like Suction Bomb maybe, and Splat Bomb Rush, but you will probably need to paint over it. And then we always have, there's these 2 good specials that are always good no matter what mode it is, pretty much, and it's Armor and Ink Missiles, because they're just so good for like getting back in. Sharkers, because there's always going to be Sharkers in ranked. You can't call them out, but you can just see them for yourself, which is so strong. And Ink Armor is just so strong because there's so many weapons that just get countered by it, by having, like, they can't one-shot anymore. They just don't have enough time to kill you when you push them. Oh yeah, missiles. Missiles are also good for strongholds. I'll explain that a bit more in a bit. But it's like strongholds are basically just like backliners or chargers holding a really good spot. It could be anyone else as well that have good range. Just to push them back off it, away from the spot that you want to get to. Right, builds. Now, I'm not going to say too much about this because there's so many builds for every single weapon. All you got to do is go on to sendu.inc. It's an amazing website. Go check it out. Get your own Discord linked into it. And you can make your own profile and put your own abilities on any weapon you want. So I give you a guide on what you want to get, what you want to put on your build. And just overall common sense sort of really is just build good gear before you play a ranked match. As the tiniest thing could potentially cause you to not get a pick or to just die, like such as not having enough main power up for like a main power up weapon like K-Pro or like H3 or like Bamboo. You won't be able to one-shot them sometimes, or most of the time. But having enough main power up probably will give you more of a chance to. And like important survival abilities such as 1 sub of quick super jump, because that will help you to just retreat quicker. Bomb defense, which is just to help you survive from like specials and bombs a lot. Like bombs and specials are just so important in this game. You've got to have something to help you survive a little bit more often. And ink resistance to help you to survive from like main power up weapons, which are very common in ranked. Alright, now this is when it gets a bit hard, because this is sort of when you got to actually try and do it yourself. So we're going to work on play style and strategy. So it's just being able to try and do everything. Some weapons can't do that as well as some other weapons, but it's still possible. But it's such as just painting the zone to get points, or potential KO on objective, or flanking, get the enemy to think about every angle. So like if there's like 3 people on one side, go on the other side, do something on that side, make them think about everything. Holding control, holding a good spot to get picks, and don't let them push. Try and not let them push you. Being able to being adaptable and flexible, not doing the same thing over and over again, flanking over and over again, or just sharking same spot over and over again. Sit somewhere else, do something else. Pushing the enemy, looking to punish the enemy from overextending, trying to retreat, and flanking. Because sometimes it can be quite easy to punish flankers. You also may need to change your play depending on where your teammates go. So yeah, there's like 3 people on one side, you got to go on the other side. Otherwise it's going to just be a huge, massive, colossal doo-doo. Now we got some detailed stuff going on now. I've called it positioning. And it's basically, it's just having an understanding on what you need to think about on every map. But for this map, it's a bit hard to tell, but I'm going to be showing what Mako Mart's like. It's a really good map that most competitive players like, so it should be sort of helpful. But I'll be doing a different map because I'm going to do 4 parts of this. Anyway, so the first one I'll be showing as an image will be stronghold spots. So this is to help you look for information or to keep control. Weapons that have a lot of range will make use of these positions. And it's just like the strongholds are just so good because you're just able to see a lot. You'll be able to see a lot, be able to have enough time to react to flanks or anyone pushing you. So it's harder to deal with people like that if they have got good range and just be able to see everything very well if they get in those spots. Flank, sharking spots. So, to get a potential surprise picks and be wary for enemies to be potentially sharking around your plat or just like anywhere around boxes. Weapons that are quick frontline slaying weapons will make use of these positions. Mostly because they're just so they can, if they fail they can just try and run away and get away with it. So they don't really get punished for it, whereas backlines they sort of do. These are the popular spots marked in yellow to shark because it's just, yeah, they're all like spots mostly where it's like hiding around a box, around a corner that you just can't see. And it's going to be used a lot because in ranked, it's really easy to shark. You can't communicate with people, so you got to think about that. Halt zone spots. So this is sort of a little bit competitive play, but it's I'm sort of going to relate it to ranked as well. But it's basically just trying to paint as safely as possible. Trying to paint a comfortable spot for you to paint the zone. Avoid going on the zone, otherwise if you die you're giving paint to your enemy and it's more likely they're going to cap the zone, so you want to try and avoid that. Flanking spots. So flanking spots are like just trying to go around the map and like trying to like open the map for your team instead of just being on one side sometimes. It is a risky play sometimes. It's something you should try and do not all the time, but just sometimes. If you keep doing it, it's going to be too obvious. So people are going to be way far back. Just be aware of you. But it's very rewarding if you get away with it. So it should be used carefully if used a lot. Also depends on how your team plays. So like, yeah, like I've said, if they're all on one side, try and be the one to make the play. Retake and pushing spots. This is probably the hardest to learn, but they're sort of like this is sort of like an example of what I like try to do. But I mostly try and go for the one in the middle on the left, going to the left stack, because that's the one where I'm just slowly painting around my court, checking the ramp a little bit or the street, and then that's it. You can just go on the stack. Most people will probably go on the stack as well, and then that's it really. Maybe sharking around the zone, but yeah. It's also understanding where backliners could be on their team, where they're holding the strongholds. You got to be careful. So you might try and go another way instead of going on the side that they are. So, but it just depends who's the threat. Who is the threat in that team that's going to cause your entire team to fail as well. That's also another important thing with retaking and pushing. And like pushing is sort of hard because it depends how aggressive your team can play. If they aren't very aggressive, then you're not going to be able to push very far. You sort of got to do it yourself. That'll make you die, or you're more likely to die because you don't have support. So you just got to be careful with that. But if you get to those spots, they can be quite good. And now we got the hard parts, and that's using our brain. So I mean, I've already used our brain from talking a lot. I don't know. Right. There are times where you might be dying. Oh no, staying alive. Staying alive, by the way. We might be dying a lot, but a simple pick or play can be done by looking for where enemies could be positioned before going somewhere that may not be favourable. So just holding forward. Just stay there and have a look around first. Maybe you might be able to see someone swimming around and you could try and get a pick from that. Painting the zone. As simple as it can get. To help the team win objectively. So if your team are already getting the picks, just paint. That's all you gotta do. Painting a comfortable path to push in safer. So literally paint everything that they could be sharking when you want to push to a side. Not literally every single drop, like every bit of the wall, just a bit on, just the floor where you want to try and push. Gathering special. It's literally like painting. You just paint and you get special as well. So to help push in safer and cleaner. It's helping you to get the cap on the zone or be able to get you picks if you want. Thinking about where your teammates are and way to push with them to get the pick that your teammate couldn't finish off, or they couldn't get the pick that you, or they could get the pick meant that you couldn't kill anyway, or the enemy. It can happen. So yeah, thinking about adapting or changing your strat to get back in. So if you keep just going left, try and go right. See how that goes. Even if it doesn't feel very comfortable, try it. Or maybe just try and go right and then go to the far left. Just like rotating. Thinking about what special weapons the enemies have that could cause you to die when pushing in. So if you're going against a team, if you have a weapon that's like really slow, like Explosher, and they got like an armor comp, then you just got to be a bit wary of that because you won't be able to kill them very quickly. Or like Blaster if you want to be really interesting, but or like Dynamo more often if you just want to paint and your slow weapon. So you just gotta be careful with armor, or you could be careful. You gotta be careful with charges because they're gonna be annoying to deal with. All right. Now this is sort of depending on how you want to play the game, but we're gonna be talking about mentality. This is important because there's a lot of people who can rage, get angry, but it can just be a rough day. So, yeah, ranked is stressful, but the best way to think when going for a higher rank or power is only think about yourself on what mistakes you made and not blame your teammates. Don't blame your teammates. Just think about the mistakes that you did. And yeah, your teammates could be playing for fun, and it's very unlikely in Splatoon that they will know what they are doing. Only expect yourself to help the team win. Like you gotta try and do everything, like I said. No matter the situation, the game can always be winnable if you are confident in what you need to do. So being confident in where you want to push, instead of just being like, oh no, I don't want to do it, no, I'm scared, there's someone there. Just go in and try it. Just do it. Take it like a man. If you overthink stuff, you're gonna fail. You just gotta try it. When you lose, never get disheartened. The points you lost or D-rank can make you feel absolutely terrible. But remember, you have plenty of time to get your rank. Or if it's to get a good power in 1 month, you have plenty of time. Just try do it the entire month, not too late. It can be bad doing it early, but you should just try to do the entire month, so you have more time to grind ranked. If you do lose a lot, such as around 4 losses, this is, in my opinion, in a rotation as well, just call it a day. Don't play anymore. It's just gonna make you feel worse. Even less than that, maybe like 2 losses or 3 losses. So yeah. And just think about what went wrong, really, and start from fresh another day. And just only try and play when you feel good. If you feel bad, it's not going to help you do well on ranked. Right, and now we got the most important thing ever that is hard to do, which is aim. Now, everyone that plays the game competitively, been playing this game for absolute ages, they say, oh, just practice. Well, I've told you everything you need to know. But now the last thing is to practice your aim, because that is the most important thing in this game. So, aim is the last thing that will take the longest to learn, as this is improved from playing the game, like everyone says. It is always important to warm up your aim, no matter what weapon you play. If you're playing Sploosh, just practice your aim with Swiffer, or like Bamboo, anything. It still helps improve your aim. Play a different weapon that requires aim and practice. Flicking your aim in the training room for a bit. It get comfortable by slowly working on flicking faster. So it's just like trying to get comfortable with your flicks, because that can be really important. On like if there's someone behind you, just flick around 90 degrees, or like 180 degrees, whatever. Another one is also, if you've got like a slow weapon that's not very, or like a weapon that's got fast rate of fire or whatever, but you still got to like track them. You got to try and practice your tracking as well. As there is a lot of movement in this game, and some weapons take longer to kill. So yeah. And then when you have warmed up in the training room, also do a bit more warm up in Turf War or League with a Friend, or just play a rank rotation that you probably won't grind yet, or like a node you won't grind yet, and just warm up your aim before the good rotation you want to grind comes out. So yeah, that's it really. There's also one other thing. It sort of links to matchup, but matchup is sort of like understanding your weapon really, and just like knowing what's your weaknesses. I can't help you with that, because there's just so many weapons to think about for every single weapon. What's their weakness? I sort of have an understanding of the weaknesses, but I don't know it fully well. I only know how to play roller. So that is pretty much everything that you need to know about ranked. Like I said, I will tell you every single drop of what you need to do in ranked, and I hope that was helpful. And I will be doing another 3 parts of this, so until then, bye bye.